Hi, I'm Zero and this is What If Naruto Had Leveling System Part 2. And so we left off while Naruto just, finished the task and he has killed 100, you know, goblins. I won't be going into, every single goblin fight. It's gonna be, pretty much take me about 2 videos to go through every single one of them. So yeah, you got the gist of it. And so, after 2 days has passed, Naruto is extremely skilled in fighting, hiding his presence. Because Naruto pretty much, did mostly stealth kills. Pretty much distracted his enemies and picked them 1 by, 3 by, or 4 by. Yeah. Slowly. But I want to go after he killed, 100 goblins. Something happened. A boss appeared. The boss was pretty much a higher version of a goblin. It was much more big, more muscular. It was basically a high goblin, not an ogre, but a high, goblin. Naruto had killed 100, totally 100 goblins. So in return, he has 100 points. Naruto looks at the boss and he gets ready because he know it will be hard because the goblin boss has the same level of strength or aura just as the wolf did, so Naruto knows not to underestimate him. But this time Naruto has weapons. He has a sword and 2 knives, and Naruto is wearing a ragged armor that Goblin used to wear, so Naruto is ready for him, and Naruto is much more experienced. And so both of the opponents are there. It's about noon, high noon. It's dark but not dark at all as well. It's medium. You can still see everything, but it's a little bit more darker than daylight. Naruto looks at the high goblin. High goblin looks at Naruto. Both of them run towards each other. High goblin is using a small spear, so Naruto has to go close to him. But while they are running, Naruto pretty much takes out his sword, and as soon as they get close enough, Naruto swing his swords upwards, taking some dirt or sand from the ground, and pretty much pulling it into the high goblin's eyes, and the high goblin closed his eyes. And then Naruto swing his sword down with all of his might, but the high goblin was not distracted for too long because the high goblin was able to dodge, but it came too close to his face, and when that happened, the high goblin's focus went to the sword to stop it. But Naruto let go of the sword instantaneously as that happened. As soon as the high goblin's focus went to the sword, Naruto took out the two small knives, and Naruto keeps on each of his waists and stab one of the left hand one into the high goblin's feet. The right hand one he cut high goblin's knee and stabbed it into his thigh, upper thigh. Naruto take out the knife that was implanted in. He used to uh, stab his left feet with his left hand. He take the left hand kunai, oh no, knife, and stabbed it into the his right thigh, a different leg, thigh, and then he takes out the kunai. No, that takes out the knife that was in his right hand and was in Goblin's left thigh. Takes it out and stabbed it into his stomach. Then Naruto jumped back because Goblin was slashing with his small spear towards Naruto, but damage was already done. By cutting on Goblin's knee, Naruto pretty much makes sure that Goblin does not have agility at all. Then Naruto grabbed his sword once again and put his knives back to where they were. and got ready. But now Goblin can't move, can't run, or can't do anything. Goblin can just stay there and he will bleed and die anyway. So yeah, but Naruto wants to finish it fast, and so Naruto goes back as further back as he can, close to a tree. Then he, puts his hand behind the tree. That's what the goblin can see. Then he takes out a bow and a few arrows. The goblin is shocked and angry because the goblin knows that he is standing barely. If he moved, he's one of his leg will give out and he won't be able to stand up again. So he can't run. So now Goblin thinks that he will have to, deflect the uh, arrows with his short spear. Then Naruto aims at the goblin and fires the arrow. The arrow was quite off, so not quite centered because Naruto does not have that much practice with archery. The goblins laughs at Naruto. Naruto gets angry. Naruto starts to fire as many arrows as he can, and he has 10 arrows, but he already shot one, so he fires 9 arrows towards the high goblin. High goblin was dodging as pretty much using his spear to deflect as many he can, but one of them hit, but it didn't went deep into his skin, it just scratched it. And so when all the 9 arrows were done, Naruto picked up his sword once again and started to walk towards the high goblin. Now the high goblin is quite angry because he knows if he walked he'll die, if he stay he'll die. Naruto runs towards the goblin at pretty high speeds. Naruto throws his sword towards the goblin, and the goblin is shocked, like what? The goblin uses his short spear to deflect the sword coming towards him, but thanks to the sword coming towards him, the high goblin's focus was on the sword, and that's what Naruto wanted. Naruto ran behind the high goblin and stabbed one of his knives that he had in his left hand into lower part of his spine, and the kunai he has on the right hand, he stabbed it on close to his neck, killing him instantaneously, and the one fall to the ground. The high goblin. Naruto takes out the kunai, or no, knives, and put them on both of his waist, and then he picks up the sword. Then Naruto gets teleported back to the white room. Naruto sees the white room again, and Naruto asks, so how many did I make? 110 or how much? She'll say 150, Naruto. Naruto would be shocked, like that boss was level 50. She was like, not exactly. It's basically you did much faster than I naturally anticipated, or much faster than the time limit. You pretty much still had an entire day. You had 3 days to complete the task of killing 100 goblins and one high goblin. So yeah, high goblin was worth 20 points if you wanna know. I would like, so why did you give me 10 points while I fought the wolf? She will say, oh, it was only a test run, Naruto. Naruto would just nod confusedly, and then Naruto looks at his level. Naruto has level 2. Just a sec. And so then the system asks, so where do you want to put the 1 stat point you gained? Naruto would say defense. The system would say okay. So now Naruto's strength, agility, and defense are all at level 4 or 0.4. You get the gist of it. And then the system asks, so what will you be buying? Naruto's Maki. Naruto says intelligence. She will like the intelligence that cost the 100. He will like, yes, but he will like, I already have intelligence quirk, what will I do with super intelligence? The system would say, if you buy super intelligence, you will gain the super intelligence level 1. Right now your intelligence is level 0, but you have intelligence skill. Naruto would nod and say, I want to buy the super intelligence. And the system would say, okay. And so that happens. Then the system says, so, Naruto, you have 52 points now. What are you gonna buy now? Naruto is now a little bit of a dilemma. Naruto doesn't know what to buy. Naruto thinks what to buy, but he doesn't know it yet. And then Naruto thinks, I don't know yet. Uh, then he will tell the system that, can I just save the 52 points? I'll do it later because I have no idea what to buy for now. She will say, okay, today's quest has been completed. Goodbye, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto would nod and Naruto would, be back at the, uh, you know, real world, and he will wake up from the dream. And so Naruto would say, okay, so I have super intelligence level 1. He would say, let's go to the library. And so Naruto would go to the library. Naruto would pretty much read for the entire day. He won't do any physical training, he's just reading. And because Naruto is so excited about reading because it's so easy for him. Naruto has super intelligence level 1, so yeah, it's quite easy for him. It's so easy, like, yeah, I have read it thousands of times, of course I'm gonna remember it, kind of easy. And so Naruto reads upon a lot of stuff, pretty much the history of ninja world and the chakra. Naruto get the gist of the ninja world because he wasn't paying attention in the class, so he didn't knew shit. So now Naruto knows about the first Hokage to fourth Hokage, and how why the first Hokage was considered the god of shinobi, and why the third Hokage is considered the god of shinobi, why the second Hokage was considered the water dragon, why the fourth Hokage was considered the yellow flash, and what is chakra, what's the basics of chakra, and what can chakra do. Naruto has all the knowledge now. And the 3 forms of chakra: taijutsu, ninjutsu, and genjutsu. Because I would say genjutsu is kind of part of the taijutsu. And so Naruto has gained all the knowledge. Naruto goes back, and then Naruto thinks, what should I buy? What should I buy? Then he remembers something that he read. The first Hokage was able to heal from any wound instantaneously. Regeneration. Then it was about 9 p.m. So Naruto had to, eat and do as much physical training as he can until he's extremely tired. And he does about, 200 push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and he's tired. He can't even move. Naruto just goes to sleep, and he instantaneously goes to sleep. He wakes up in the white room, and Naruto says, I want to buy regeneration. She will say, okay, there's only one regeneration. Like, why would, the intelligence 3? She will say, let's just say I've changed few things, but you can, increase the regeneration by leveling it up, and the regeneration will grow stronger. Naruto would say, okay. So how good the regeneration now will be, and how much it will cost me. The system would say it will cost you about 180 points to buy regeneration. Naruto would say, okay, that's high. She would say, yes. And then Naruto would say, okay, so there aren't any low level regenerations. She will say, no, Naruto Uzumaki, they aren't. Naruto would sigh and say, so what's the mission today? She will like, yeah, the mission is the same but on much higher level. But you don't have to kill goblins this time. You have to kill zombies. Naruto would like, what's a zombies? He will say, see for yourself. He will like, hey, wait, at least explain. But Naruto was unable to finish the sentence as he was teleported once again. And now Naruto can see there are these things that walk, but they are slow, but there are a lot of them, and they are humans. And now this kind of, uh, does Naruto does hesitate to kill them because those were monsters, but now these are humans, but at the same time they are not. So Naruto is quite, confused. And a zombie will give you 1 point as well as the goblin. So yeah. And so thankfully Naruto spots a bonfire there, like there was a bonfire there. So Naruto just lights up the entire forest, and the entire forest burns and kills all the zombies. Naruto was in the water because there was, of course, a river close by. So Naruto, went inside the river, making as less of a noise as he can because he can kind of understand that they kind of, work with noises. And so, about in an hour, the entire forest was burned down, and all the zombies were dead. Naruto made about 150 from killing all the zombies, and then the boss appeared. When the boss appeared, Naruto felt off because the boss was giving off an aura that was greater than uh, the wolf or the high what you call goblin. Naruto was quite confused and shocked, like what the hell? But then it vanished. Naruto felt a sharping pain go through him. He looked back. The thing was behind him and his nail was into his back. But thankfully it missed the spine. Naruto uh, took out a knife and stabbed it into, its eye. Because it was laughing at him. Naruto, that you're gonna die, but it got stabbed in the eye. It was so shocked, like it went back. Naruto remembers something about chakra. He puts all his will, all his power. He just says, if there is something called chakra, go into my feet. Go into my feet. I want to be fast, fast, fast. And apparently it made him a little bit faster. Because Naruto didn't have chakra control yet. He was just, pretty much forcing chakra, very little amount of chakra into, his feet. Because he's putting all of his might into, his feet. In return, putting little bit of chakra into his feet. So he was a little bit more faster. He fought. He fought for about 2 hours straight. In the end, Naruto has lost an arm. Naruto has several cuts and bruises, but he's standing on top of that thing's body, and his head is completely separated from his other body. And Naruto is just in pain, but he's laughing because it was something that Naruto never expected. Because every time even if Naruto pretty much stabbed it in the heart, it won't die. It will just keep on going. Then Naruto realized it was undead. I had to pretty much cut his head off. So Naruto pretty much baited him and lost an arm, but Naruto cut his head off and won. And Naruto gained 100 point because this was supposed to be really hard because there were about 150 zombies with insanely high hearing capability. If Naruto made even killed a single zombie with his own hands, all the zombies would have rushed towards Naruto, making a group, making it much more harder for Naruto to do. But Naruto pretty much burned down the entire forest, so that never happened. And the boss was meant to be, at last, when Naruto was tired and everything, the boss was supposed to come and pretty much, deal with him, and it should have been much more harder. But thanks to Naruto, burning down the forest, Naruto had all the stamina almost completely full. So yeah, then Naruto got teleported back to the White Room, and Naruto just gets healed, and he's on his knees, huffing and puffing. The system says, congratulations, Naruto Uzumaki. The system says, congratulations, Naruto Uzumaki, you have gained 302 points. Naruto just looks at the system, the words that are coming in a rage but he's not angry, but he's kind of just doesn't know what to think right now. Then Naruto says, so, here, so I have 100 and 302 points, right? The system would say, yes. And then Naruto would say, so I want to buy the region. The system would say, okay, congratulations Naruto Uzumaki, you have bought Regeneration for 180 points. Naruto say, okay. And so then the system would say, okay Naruto Uzumaki, you have bought the Regeneration and your total points now come to be 122. Naruto says, so can I upgrade it to, level 1? The system would say, yes, it will cost you about 100 points. Naruto says, so what's the difference between level 1 and level 2 regeneration? The system would say, it's simple Naruto Uzumaki. Normal regeneration, in which you can heal your broken bone in about half a day. With level 1 regeneration, you can heal your broken bone in 1 hour minimum. No, scratch that. You can heal your arm in half an hour, a broken arm. That would nod and say, okay, upgrade it to level 1. The system would nod, and then the system would say, your total points come to be 22 points. And so Naruto would nod. And now Naruto is thinking, okay then, this is good. If I can heal a broken arm in half an hour, it means normal small flesh wounds will heal faster. And so Naruto thinks, maybe I can gain the same level of healing factor that first Hokage had with this. And then Naruto would say, okay. Then the system would say, you have completed the mission for today. Goodbye Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto would nod. And so now we do about a month of time skip where we have to, Naruto has to go back to the academy. Just a sec. And so in the time skip, now Naruto has to go back to the academy. Naruto's level is about 50. Naruto's has currently stat point 5 extra stat point. Naruto's strength is 19, agility is 19, and defense is 19, because he put 15 points into all three of them. And Naruto has, as I said, super intelligence level 2, because Naruto has upgraded the super intelligence to pretty much level 2 in this particular time. And his regeneration has also gotten to level 2, and he has level 1 of steel skin. It basically makes his skin as hard as steel, increasing his defense even further. So because Naruto does that, because sometimes on missions he get minor scratch with small arrows and so, and they are poisonous, so that's why Naruto did that. And now Naruto's regeneration is even faster. He can heal a broken arm in a minute, because the maximum level no, scratch that, a broken arm can be now healed in 20 minutes, except for 30. Now it's 20. The maximum level a skill can be upgraded is level 5. That's the maximum level, and his super intelligence is even higher now. And Naruto is a lot more taller, a lot more muscular. And so now we continue to the next part. And Naruto has about 100 shop points, or 100 shop points pretty much spared in that. So the next day, now the day of the school, there are still 2 years left before Naruto can graduate, or 2 years pretty much. And so Naruto goes, as soon as Naruto enters, Naruto is not the first one. Everyone starts to look at him, because Naruto is a lot more bigger, muscular, and is different. In in the time Naruto has been doing a lot of physical training thanks to his regeneration, he was able to do physical training even more. And so yeah, Naruto is quite strong, much more stronger. And so Naruto goes, sits at, with Sasuke, uh, and Sakura was on the other side of Sasuke because Sakura came first this time for some reason, and Sasuke was sitting in the center. Ino wanted to sit there, but they assigned teams, so yeah, assigned seats. And Naruto is acting differently. He didn't shout anything. Shikamaru was waiting for Naruto to shout something that what makes you so special, Sasuke. But he didn't. He's calm, collective, and a lot more different. He just sits there and closes his eyes, and now he's thinking. A lot has happened since then, huh? Naruto still doesn't know anything about chakra control and other stuff. So yeah. Then Aruka comes in and says, "Hello everyone. After the month of break, we will be doing another one of our what do you call training sessions in which the students will be fighting other students." And so then it comes Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke thinks Naruto is the same, but Naruto is completely changed so much. And only Shikamaru can see this, and Shino, because Shino is one of the smart ones. Because Naruto was not paying attention, but he was also not doing something stupid as well. So yeah, as soon as Oroka says start, Sasuke, before he can even run, Naruto is running towards Sasuke at much higher speed. And then the second Sasuke is on the ground and Naruto's fist is in front of Sasuke's face. You know how the original Sasuke did this? Well, Naruto said I'll beat you, but this time Naruto did this, and this shocked everyone because the speed Naruto showed was greater than Sasuke's speed. And so Sasuke is so shocked, he doesn't know what to make of it. And so that happens. Sakura says you cheated, several girls says you cheated, but Naruto doesn't pay them any mind at all. He completely ignores them. When that was done, Orga says, okay Naruto, you can go. All the girls were saying, Naruto, you cheated, but Naruto completely ignored them. And they showed kind of a lot of them because Naruto wasn't the one to ignore people, especially Sakura, because he had a crush on her, but now because he's a lot more smarter, he knows that he never had a crush on her at all. Never. Super intelligence level 2, of course he's a lot more smarter. And so Naruto pretty much spends the entire day doing the normal thing. Sasuke doesn't think too much of it. Sasuke just think, he must have trained for a month. I'll train for a week and I will be able to beat him. That's what Sasuke is thinking. But after that, Naruto goes home and he goes directly to library before he gets home. He takes a book upon chakra and starts reading it, and he comes upon a concept of chakra control. Naruto kind of understands it, so he goes back to his home. It was already 9 p.m. So he eats and goes to sleep. He wakes up in the white room and says, System. The system says, yes, Naruto, I want to buy chakra control. The system will look at Naruto, not look at, just be silent for a few seconds and then say, okay, Naruto Uzumaki, chakra control will cost you 500 show points. Naruto is not that surprised because the steel skin was also quite expensive. It costed him 200 points, and upgrading him costed 150 points. Upgrading the this super intelligence to much higher level costed Naruto about 200 points. So yeah, everything is getting more and more expensive as Naruto, starts to ask for more different stuff, more, stronger stuff or better stuff, let's just say. Naruto nods and say, "What's the mission today?" The system would say, "Mission is of the survival, Naruto." Naruto would say, "You have to kill few people." The system would say, "No, Naruto. Your mission is of a 10 days survival challenge. You pretty much have to survive, and the monster's wave will keep on getting stronger, so you will gaining more and more points." Naruto will nod, and Naruto would be teleported uh, to the place. And so, uh, Naruto waits there. Pretty much, goes around, looks around the place, finds a cave in which a bear was living in, but Naruto killed the bear. Naruto still, hasn't bought any weapons for the shop, and Naruto can buy weapons, but he haven't bought it yet. Naruto basically is still using, knives or weapons he, got from or still had while he got teleported after completing a mission, and he kept them. And but Naruto's weapons are quite good. Naruto has two swords, uh, one long sword, two short swords, two huge no knives on both of his waists, and a small bow with 10 arrows. Naruto pretty much says, "I should be okay." Then Naruto heard someone moving, down the mountain, because Naruto's senses have gotten quite a lot of, higher, because Naruto was used to fighting, wolf-like people who has much more higher, hearing capability than any human. So yeah, Naruto's hearing capability has naturally gotten quite a lot of, stronger. And so Naruto goes, looks down, and it's weird. It's goblin, but it's not. It's much more bigger. It's like high goblin, but there are 10 of them. Naruto looks at the arrows he had, and then he takes out something that he took from, bought in the original world, and that's an explosive tag. Naruto takes a arrow, wraps the, explosive tag on it, and, aims for the one who's in the middle of the group and who is closest to more people. Naruto aims at one who was at the middle, shoots the arrow. The arrow hits the guy in the head. All the, high goblins look at, the person who got hit, and Naruto says, "Release," and then an explosion happens. And then Naruto jumps down with his long sword and starts to cut them down pretty ruthlessly. And after, Naruto is done with those 10 high goblins, 6 goblins came more, and they are working together to beat him, but Naruto is a lot more stronger, more faster. Naruto's strength is greater, agility and everything is greater than a chonin, because Naruto has also regeneration, and he was also training naturally as well. So yeah, thanks to the month of training, Naruto's strength, defense, and agility has gotten to 20, just because the how harsh Naruto trained because of the having regeneration. Naruto was able to train pretty hard because having higher regeneration allowed him to train ruthlessly, basically. And so Naruto pretty much fights them. Then after that, Naruto fights huge spiders, then huge wolves. Uh, after that, Naruto sees 7 ogres coming in. They are big, and Naruto instantly felt their power. And Naruto ran and hid. And Naruto says, "I have to assassinate them. I can't, just go and hope, to take them in the group just like I did, all the other, monsters that came." Because Naruto would just, use archery to pretty much, because Naruto has collected all the weapons that the monsters would drop or would have on them. Now Naruto has about 20 arrows and 7 other stuff. So Naruto was, pretty much from pretty far away, aiming his arrows and shooting at them. Because Naruto is become pretty good with using archery, because Naruto pretty much uses archery to save his life. So yeah, Naruto is still misses his shots, but he can make a good distraction for himself. And so, and Naruto pretty much fires an arrow from a completely different direction. Then he runs towards a different direction to confuse the enemy, to break their numbers, divide and rule. Naruto prefers to do that. Um, when the ogres and Naruto sees ogres, he can see their skin is hard, probably close to as strong as my steel skin. Steel skin is still level 1, so yeah. Then Naruto says, well, let's continue. Naruto pretty much, takes the rock and throws as far away as he can. And it hits far, right side and behind ogres. Two of them, hears it and run towards them to, destroy it. And they're going through trees, pretty much, destroying trees like they're going. Naruto realize, okay, I have to be more careful. And so, Naruto does this 7 or 20 more times. Now, only one ogre has, is alone, the others are in the group of 2, and Naruto will be going after the one that's alone, because he wants to pretty much test his strength and speed. And so Naruto starts to fight, but he's not fighting, he's just hiding. Naruto puts his bow back, and Naruto pretty much throws a rock down. He was on the top of a tree. As soon as the rock hit, the ogre put his moved his head back, and Naruto at the same time shot the arrow, and luckily that arrow hit the ogre in his right eye. Naruto instantly jumps forward and takes his long sword and swings it downwards, but Ogre was able to see it with his left eye, and Ogre pretty much took his club and hit the sword, and the sword went flying from Naruto. As soon as that happens, Naruto realizes he effed up. His strength is greater than my own. His strength is probably at level 20 or 30, or even Naruto's strength is level 20, but his could be 30 or even 40, because Naruto was unable to grab his sword, because that shock wave after the hit came. It just made stunned Naruto's hand. He was not able to grab his sword anymore. Naruto puts his both of his hands on his shoulders, where he keeps the two short swords, and he takes them out. He realized the only advantage I have is speed. But too bad for Naruto, he's not true. As soon as Naruto fights the ogre with the speed, he realizes his speed is almost equal to his own, but Naruto is just a little bit 5% more faster than the ogre. Naruto realizes I need to go more and more. I have to push my limits. Naruto is fighting. Thankfully, Naruto makes sure that other two ogres' team is far away, and he has also set a minor level of trap. Pretty much a bonfire and a rabbit to cook on, so the the other three team of two ogres can come there. Because as I said, there were total 7 ogres, so 2, 2, and 2, and now Naruto is fighting the one. And so Naruto is thinking I have to take all the ogres one by one. If I go on 2 on the ogres 2 and I am 1, I will lose so badly. It's not even funny, Naruto says. And so Naruto fights with the ogre. They fought for about 10 minutes. And Naruto realizes that Ogre is as fast as him, but his stamina is not there yet, because the Ogre is getting slower because he's getting more tired. Naruto takes the chance because the arrow is still in the Ogre's eye, the right eye, but the Ogre broke the arrow, but it's still there. Naruto runs towards the Ogre, swinging both of his swords, short swords, but Naruto, releases both of his swords. The Ogre is kind of short, but Naruto goes down the swords, run as fast as he can with all of his might towards Ogre, and jump and kick Ogre in the face at the point, where arrow was broken, and Naruto pretty much pushed the arrow further back. And the Ogre screamed, and his teammates, the 6 ogres that were left here, heard this. Naruto realized that he needs to do something. Naruto pretty much, grabs the swords because the swords were still in the air, and he goes downwards into the screaming ogre's mouth, cutting it badly. And then the ogre stops screaming, and then the ogre dies. And Naruto instantaneously, puts the both of swords back, runs, takes his, long sword and runs away as far as he can, to hiding his presence, because he can kind of, feel that they were running towards him because the trees were falling and Naruto could hear the fallen trees' voice. And so when the 6 ogres came, they saw their, the so-called teammate dead. The ogre realizes that what happened because the person wanted, them to be separated. So Naruto did, after about an hour, and so Naruto did, try to separate them, but they are just in the teams of 2. They are just not separating. Naruto realized that they are smart. They can see that what I did. And so Naruto starts making another plan, a different plan to take care of the ogres. And so this will be the end of this video, guys. Like and subscribe.